Yeah, it looks like we're just gone live in Facebook as well. So we've got some people joining us from Remote Work Spain and from Remote Work Europe. Thank you, everybody watching. And also thank you to everybody watching the recording later, because this is a subject that is evergreen for all of us. We need to learn some Spanish. We need to get confident in expressing ourselves. It doesn't matter if, like me, you work 100% online in English. This is my biggest problem actually with remote working, is that I've been in Spain for a lot of years now, but I do not consider myself bilingual. I do not consider myself anything more than intermediate, because I think the problem is after so long, you just learn to get by and survive and do things. And I've got strategies for dealing with everything, but that does not involve being fluent. So it's going to be a big problem for me. That's why I wanted to talk to Carolina and bring her on board to talk in this community, because I know and I live this problem every day of my life, that I'm completely confident. I communicate for a living. I'm a writer, I'm a podcaster. But when it comes to communicating in another language, I'm just not confident. And that's why Carolina's come to talk to us today about a new way of learning, a new way of thinking about learning a language, instead of the grammar classes that some of us remember from school and all the difficult, hard and non-intuitive ways of learning. So Carolina, thanks for joining us. Please introduce yourself to our viewers and tell us about how we should be thinking about language learning.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me. Yes, well, I feel you. I feel you because I'm in the same way. In the other hand, no, I'm speaking in
Okay.
English. I'm a journalist too. And for me, words are very important. So what's the same problem, no? When I moved to America, to USA, I had the same problem. I was learning Spanish many years in the school, but when I arrived, I couldn't say anything. I knew the grammar, but talk was the hardest part. So this is why I specialize and find a trick and find a way to express yourself. Right now, I'm living in Rome, and it's the same. I have another language, it's very similar to Spanish, but it's not the same. So it's the same thing. So I create this technique like my students they are using, and it's working. And in few months you can be more confident talking, changing your way to think, not doing in the same way. We want to talk about that. I prepare something to show how I'm doing. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, I'm ready to learn. I've even got a pen. I know you have to write things down to really learn them and remember them. So
Yeah,
teach
it's
us
important.
today.
Yeah, it's important to be because usually we learn in the traditional way, learning grammar,
Mhm.
and this is the point. And the most important thing is we trying to translate. So we have an idea and we translate in the Spanish way, and it doesn't work. Will be for years to try to figure out always, and especially I have this is happen. Usually people are more. Advanced in talking. I mean, lawyers,
Mm.
journalists, people that use a lot the words. It's very hard for them to speak. Why?
Mm.
Because they use a very high level way to communicate, and then when they try to translate that to Spanish, they cannot find the words. So happen all the lawyers that I have, I need to say you need to lower your level. If your Spanish is here and your English is here, if you translate, you don't find anything. But if you lower your level and then you simplify your sentences, then you find ways to talk. This is why now,
Mm.
more or less, I reduce my Spanish way to talk. I talk in Italian, English, Spanish in the same way. I can translate the same sentences because I reduce the sentences. I do it sentence very easy, and then you express in an easy way, and your brain is able to work faster. Hmm.
It's very difficult, though, to consciously simplify the way you communicate. Even if you don't do it for a living, it's very
Yeah, so
difficult
we
to
want to
kind of.
do in the but I'll advance you now. So we how you simplify it is very easy. You need to think you are talking with a 4 years old kid.
Okay.
So if you talk with a boy, you cannot talk, for example, your work. How can you explain to a kid your job? It's different
My
you talk
job.
to me and different talk to a boy. So you will talk in a different way. You don't talk in the same way. Maybe you say, well, I work at home. I help people to be in the country in different ways. You know, you will find very different ways to talk because you are explaining to a kid. So in this way, you simplify your ideas. Rather than think you are talking with adults, think you are talking with kids. This is one of the points to simplify your ideas.
It's good advice for communications professionals to bear in mind anyway at all times. If you think, how would I explain it to a 4-year-old, even if you then make more complex language out of it for your journalism or your content creation, if you don't understand the ideas you're trying to explain in a way that you could to a young child, you won't express them well in any language. So I've learned one thing already today. That's a really useful bit of advice.
This is something like, okay, you change. Some people say, okay, where's your job? Oof, HR. I don't know how to explain. So find how you explain to a kid where is HR. Okay, I help the workers in the job. Okay, I be sure everyone is happy in the job. Okay, so in that way, in a easy. Also, we need to think in ideas. We cannot be a specific talking specific things because in this way you are lost looking for your specific words. But if you talk in general, people can understand better, and you can express yourself better.
That's a very different approach to the way most of us learn languages at school, I think.
No, totally. In the school this is the sentence, this is the translation, this is the, and like this you will be years. Also, another thing, there are many Duolingo. There are many apps. There are many that is very cool. They are very useful for sure. But what happened? They give you a lot of content, a lot of vocabulary that at the end is too much. Too much you have in your head, and you can't even know. I have many students, they come from the apps and they know things, but they cannot communicate. So I advise learn less, but more useful. So for example, if you want to learn, you need to learn like 5 or 10 words for each topic. If you want to learn, for example, clothing, what is more important, a sock or a shoe?
I suppose we buy more clothes, we buy more camisetas.
So I think you need to use like for example, a shoe is more important than a sock, for example. So okay, I learned only shoe, camiseta, dress, pants, a coat, basta. And then the same thing, body, head, hands, arms, legs. For example, I have a pain in my knee. Maybe knee you don't need to learn. You say leg, okay, and then you point. So in this way, you reduce your vocabulary, and then it's not stressful to find all the time words. So I recommend each like 4, 5, or 10 words for each topic. In this way, you can talk everything, but in general, of course, because you don't have many words. So this is another technique like I advise to my students.
Brilliant. Okay, I think these are some excellent ideas for people to be taking away with them today. Do you want to share your slides that you made for us, Caroline?
Let me share my screen.
This is where sometimes we break it, but it's going to be fine because we are professionals. There we are.
Sorry, like okay.
There.
Well,
ideas.
Okay, so I'm I introduced like thinking ideas, knowing words. It's like I said before. We need to think in general. We cannot go in words. No, this is why I do this picture. No, like rather than climbing as a crazy, we need to be around the mountain just to see the sun. No, this is a metaphor, like I'm saying. You don't need to go to a specific word. You need to go around the word and you will find a way to express. Okay? So this is why I did the picture. So let me explain you. We have 2 ways to communicate, non-verbal communication and verbal communication. So when I'm said no, I was well. I need to tell you, no, I was living in Amsterdam, in USA, in San Francisco, 7 years. In Asia, I was as well 1 year. In Kyoto, I was 3 months. So I was living abroad in many countries. Right now, I live in Rome. I was in Florence too. So in all my travelings, I always wanna know how they think the person is living there, because you need to know who are you living with, no? And then you can learn from them a lot, and then you can interact with them a lot if you know them. It's just know like personality in general, how, and of course you need someone explain you. This is why in my classes I talk about a lot how a Spanish person speak, because it's very important to understand how think and then to in order to communicate very well. So always it's very important, because you will make many mistakes just in no, you don't need even to talk, just mistakes for knowing that person. So when I'm travel, always I want to know, be sure uh, I'm dealing with this person, how are you need to respect them, how you need to do. So and there are many things that are very different in Spain rather than in for working. There are many ways to work. Spanish people working one way, another people, no, USA working another way, London, England people working another way. So we are totally different. So you need to know, talk with this person, because in this way will be easier to share the words, because you know exactly. Okay. So this is something like very important to understand. And then we have communication, no? Like you need to communicate. So as I told you, we need to talk if you're talking with a 4 years old kid, no? Simplify your ideas. It's very important. You thinking in your head, okay, I'm talking with a kid. Very sure you will reduce your words. The second thing is you need to ask first. I want to explain later what that means. And the third is be curious. Super important. Okay? So, how you, for 4 years kid, how you can talk? Okay, thinking in general words. And as I told you, we can talk about is an object, is a product, is a thing. You know, in that thing, you can complete, you don't need to go to a specific word. You can talk in general, talking in this way. Simplify the ideas. As I told you, we need to do sentences with 3 or 4 words, no more. Okay, por ejemplo, tengo un problema. I have a problem. Boom. It is a wonderful sentences. You don't need to say anything. We need to find very simplified. It's like you are a journalist. We need to talk in headlines. Okay, people need to boom the headline, only that. So it's 3 or 4 words. We need to talk in this way.
Yes, then, talking tweets. Or if we say tweets anymore, yes, talking nice short sound bites.
Exactly. And then the no. Why the power of no? Sometimes we don't know the word, but we don't, for example, cheap. Caro is expensive. Cheap, barato. I don't know barato, but I know caro. No es caro, is not expensive. Sometimes you have the opportunity. You know the other word, you just put the no, and then you have the other word that you're looking for. So no is very important. You find many ways to talk. Just no, and will be the opposite.
So now we need only half the words. We
exactly.
Just flip them.
Exactly. You simplify, because I don't remember that, but I know the opposite. Okay, I just put no before. Okay, you simplify and you reduce your vocabulary. And later, you can start learning more and more. But at the beginning, you cannot learn a million of words, because first, we are not kids. We cannot learn fast. We are adults. So we need to be smart. And be smart is, I told you, 4 or 5 words of each topic. And then you can reverse with a no to say the opposite sentence or the opposite word. Okay? Another thing to talk is with adjectives. For example, you even need to use the verbs. How was the fiesta, the party? Muy bonita, mucha gente, mucha comida. It was nice, a lot of people, the work. You don't need even to put verbs. So boom, 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 adjectives makes the conversation very fast and very dynamic. And also you don't need to be stressed. Where is the verb? What I need to use? So in that way, using only adjective is very, not all the time, but sometimes you can use a lot this technique. Okay, so these many techniques I share with my students, and then they reduce the fear of talking because you simplify a lot, okay, your way. And then you ask first. What I mean with the you ask first? Well, if you don't ask first, means the other person will ask you things, and means a lot of things, and then you will be lost because then you need to answer, and then will be a mess. So what do you need to do? You need to ask first. If you doing the first, then the other person needs to talk, and you just do it a one question, basta. Okay, so which question? Because you need to think very well what kind of question you want to do. For example, the best ones are how. For example, if you say, how is the living here? This is not yes or no. This is a whole conversation, and the other person will start talking. Oh, here is very nice. Valencia is my city. It's very pretty. You live here, and then you follow the conversation. Sí. And then you are, ¿verdad? Qué bien, fantástico. You answer with little words, but you are having a huge conversation, but you are doing that the other person have the conversation.
Yeah.
You just follow him. Okay.
And I guess if they say something you don't understand, you will understand the meaning from the context a bit because you chose the topic.
Exactly,
asking
you
the
choose the
question.
topic, and then you are choosing your topic. You know what you're talking about. Maybe, of course, you cannot understand everything, but the main thing you got it, and you are relaxed. I have many students that they're married with a person in Spain, and imagine meet the family. First, you are very nervous, even if it's in the same language, you will be nervous. And then thinking in another language, I said, we prepare asking questions to the mom, to the father. Okay, how is the recipe of paella? Boom, and the mom, they will start talking, ding, 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 and they will give you all the information, and you, muy buena, oh, perfecto. And then they will think, wow, this guy speaks very well. And he didn't even use a lot of sentences. So this is why when I said you need to be smart, you need to think in a strategy. Everything you do it with a strategy, you reduce your stress because you put in the other person. I have, for example, doctors. Doctors, like you don't have all the vocabulary, but if you control the conversation, the other person follow you. You ask, and then the other person answer wherever you want. So this is why you need to prepare very well. When you go to the bank, you cannot go, hey, I'm here. No. You need to prepare very well your sentences at home to go. I did all the time when I was in America. How can I say this? How can I explain that? With my sentences, I prepare. It's like I go to the war. You cannot go, hey, without anything, how is the enemy? You need to know very well the enemy, and you advance the questions, he will do it. Okay.
Yeah, just that bit of research before you go is so empowering. I've even been starting to use ChatGPT for this. To say I need to discuss this MRI result with my doctor. What is some vocabulary? What are some questions? What are some phrases they might use? It gives you
yeah, because doctors speak, even for locals, they speak very complicated. So you need to ask when, and then you need to, in this case, will be not here, how, why, or what is more, because the other person needs to talk. So you ask in general, no? ¿Cómo es la paella? How is the recipe? And then talk. Why you are doctor? And then he will tell you, oh, because my family, and they will explain your whole life. Perfect. No, but this is when you need the other person talk. But when it's opposite, you need to reduce the conversation. So, for example, this is the second. Well, talk to the eyes is important always. You need to talk into the eyes because it's important for the other person. This is like I'm saying the culture. If you don't do it, people will think you are lying. people you think you are doing something is not. So talking in the eyes is super important.
You hear something from the expression as well, don't you? You get some feedback of how they're feeling, whether they're confused by what you asked, whether they think you're
totally.
stupid or interesting, or
It's like a double check. Okay, is understand me? And also, like I you say, ChatGPT. Okay, I asked her first him. He answered me. Okay, I can go to the street. And also, always I recommend always talk with one person. Don't be, I'm going and talk with a million of people, a group of friends. Oof, no. You only want to talk with one person. And you need to choose the person you think is more relaxed because has patience. Because if you find a why, usually guys, sorry for guys, but usually women are more relaxed sometimes. Old people as well have a lot of time, so they are relaxing to talk with you. So it's very, you want to practice your conversation, go and talk with people, are old people, that they will have time to talk with you, and they are calm and they wait for you and everything. So always
just go and catch a bus in Valencia. You'll find an old person to talk
yeah.
to.
You go to the Turia, the river, the Cauce, and you walk there, and you start talking. You have your practicing there. Yes, totally.
True. Yeah.
So always I said, be curious. Why? Because you need to find a topics that they make the conversation. You need to ask. You are curious about Spain, so you need to ask many important topics, whatever is important for you. Why, for example, young people live at home and they don't go out from the house until 30. So you ask questions like it's curious for you, and then the other person will talk, and you, okay, very interesting. Okay, differences like you see any difference, like you see how is here, how you do this, why you eat at 10 p.m. in the evening, no very earlier. So you ask these questions, and then you have conversations, and the other person will talk a lot. You are following him. Okay, culture as well, and gastronomy. Always we love to talk about gastronomy. So how is this dish? Which is your favorite? Why? So all that things are very important to be curious, no? And then you will have the conversation. The other thing, like I'm telling you, you as well, you need to be specific. Because I'm saying you are the boss, you control the conversation, not the other person. Because we don't have a lot of words, so we need to be in control of the conversation. For example, if you are, because you have Google Maps, no, in the street, but if you're in a building and you're looking for the room of the doctor, no, where is the doctor room? This is a wrong question, because this is perfectly grammar, but ¿dónde está el doctor? ¿Dónde está la sala del doctor García? This is a wrong question, because the other person will tell you, okay, go straight in the second floor, go here, and then you are lost. So this is not a smart question. The smart question will be, the doctor, Garcia doctor, is on the left, on the right, on the left. Oh, thank you. And you go. Is in the first floor? Thank you. In which floor? In the second. Thank you. You asking questions. Maybe you need 4 people to arrive, but you arrive. But if you say, where is the...
Yeah, it's good.
Sorry?
4 small questions.
Because
then you
if
get
you
the
say,
information.
Yeah, the specific one, they want to explain everything, and they speak fast. Spanish speak fast. You need to know that this is a characteristic. So don't ask questions that they answer very fast. Okay, I want to ask that he needs to tell me only one word. Second floor. Thank you. I don't need anything else. And then second person. Where is the, on the left, on the right, on the left? Thank you. I don't need anything else. Like this, you control the person. The same thing in the restaurant. The typical thing, what wine do you recommend me? What dish do you recommend me? Wrong thing. Because they will give you a bunch of ideas, and maybe you are lost. You need to see, okay, I like seafood. I want to ask, what seafood do you have? You specify, and then there you control, because you are just only talking about this. Or what meat you have, or what fish. You need to say whatever is more, and then is less information, then you can talk. But if you give to the other person start talking, then you are lost. Okay? The same thing. What do I need to do? Whatever. Wrong. No. I mean, we are adults. We know the process. We know things. So we cannot ask about, okay, for example, do I need, if you go, I have the question here. For example, you go to the bank. What I need to open a bank account will be a lot of information. You will be lost. Rather than to open bank account, you need to guess, okay? Or maybe you get informed late. Okay, I need my ID, I need an address, I need my visa, I need, okay. So to open a bank account, I have these things. It's okay? Yes or no? Then the other person, yes, but you miss that. Thank you. The conversation will be different because you are in control. You know exactly what you are talking about. So you need to do the research before, rather than go and ask questions in general. Because in this way, believe me, it will be very hard to have the communication, and then you feel frustrated.
So for general learning, then you were saying, be curious, ask open questions, but then when you need a piece of information to progress a situation, this is where you want to ask quite closed, short, very specific things.
Exactly. So you need to do open questions and closed questions, depend of the situation. Open question for general conversations, closed questions for specific information you need. Okay, so two techniques you need to practice, because depend of the situation you need to do it. The one is open or the specific one. Okay, and then we want to talk. We want to do an example. So for me, I have these 10 verbs. For me, these 10 verbs are the most important ones. And when you are thinking in ideas, if you get lost, come back to these verbs. I'm pretty sure you can say your sentences. So for me, these verbs are a verb to be, ser, estar are, if you know some Spanish, you know there are two to be, ser y estar. The verb comer, to eat, hablar, to speak, tener, to have, vivir, to live, ir, to go, gustar, to like, querer, to want, y be able to, poder. Right? With these 10 verbs, you can say million of sentences, million of ideas. You don't need more verbs. Because if we know more verbs is when your brain cannot decide. But as I told you, you have 50 words and 20 verbs, these 10 survivors and another 10, you are fine. You can say, unless you feel not so stressful because, okay, I have less information, then I can talk. Okay, so let's do an example, like I show you how can we talk. For example, if you say, I lost my luggage, you are in the airport and you say, I lost my luggage. How can you, I don't know, lost? How can I express myself in English? I don't need the Spanish. Do you have any idea? How can we say it?
Without saying lost. Well, you
Yes.
can say, I can't find my luggage.
But find as well is not in the list.
Yeah,
Using
okay.
these verbs.
I don't have my luggage.
Exactly. So tener is the verb to have. So it's a basic verb, past. I don't have luggage. I don't know luggage. But maybe you know pants and jacket. You can say, no tengo mi chaqueta, mis pantalones, and you are in the airport. They understand you are trying to say, I lost my luggage. Okay? And then you say, and then this is my passport, este es mi, and then this is my address. What else they want to ask you? This is the information they need, and this is my boarding pass. Boom, boom. Because we don't know a lot of words, but we are in the world. We know how is the process. So you give all the things, and they are, okay, one sec, and they start looking for. But if you say, hello, have a problem, then they start asking this person to you, and you will be lost. But in other than, I don't have my things, this is my passport, this is my boarding pass, and this is my address, Then they send your luggage in your address. So this is why I'm saying you need to control the conversation. For example, the same thing. Someone stole my purse. How can you say?
I suppose, again, I'd probably use tener because I'm using the opposites.
Exactly.
I don't have my purse, and try to convey the suddenness that maybe somebody else has been involved in this situation, why I don't have my purse anymore.
Exactly. Maybe you can say, una persona tiene mi bolso. I don't remember bolso. I can say, tiene my money, mi dinero, mis euros. You know, there are many ways to use purse. You need to find always ideas. You say around the world. Okay, I don't know purse, but I know money or I know euros. Okay, whatever. Una persona, and you go to the police. The police understand that you are saying that because you are a foreigner. And also the big thing, tengo un problema. I have a problem, and then you say. For example, I have a leak in my room. I don't know if I write down very well leak. Sorry, I need to check. I think it's not the word.
It's
I want to
not
say
quite right, but it's communicating.
sorry. No, I wanted to check, and I realized right now that I spelled wrong. A leak, no? Even me, I didn't know that word. A leak, a hole in the roof. So how can you say that? And it is raining, no? It happened to me in a hotel. I was there. How can I explain that if I don't know whole?
I suppose, again, you could revert to tener. Tengo agua.
Tengo agua en mi habitación. I don't know habitación. You can say, en mi casa, in my house. You are in a hotel. They understand you are talking about. I have a funny story I saw in Instagram that one guy had a problem to speak, and they said, hello, I have a problem. Do you know the cartoons Tom and Jerry? They say, yes. Say, okay, Jerry is here. Rather than say, there is. And then the guy understood very well. So it's like
I sent Tom.
Okay, I need a Tom. So this is the way we need to understand. Like for example, my first language is not English, and my husband neither. So the other day he told me, "Hey, my nose is crying," and I understand what he wants to say because he didn't remember running nose. So at the end, we need to be very creative talking because we don't know all the words. We know these little words. With that words, you need to survive. Okay. Yeah. Then I have a flat tire, no, in your car, for example. The same. How can you say?
I suppose you could use ir, mi coche no va.
Muy bien, no va, perfecto, the go, mi coche no va. I don't need to know, oh, I have wheels, I don't know wheels. I have four, una no va, one doesn't work, doesn't go.
Yeah.
They don't need to say wheel, tire. It's very complicated sentences. We don't know that words, and we don't need it. You mistake the dish, no? Imagine in a restaurant, someone, oh, how can you say in another way?
That's the one bit of Spanish I had to learn first because I'm a vegetariana. So I always have to explain, no puedo comer este.
Exactly. But maybe, or you can say, you mistake the dish because this dish no es mío. Este no es mío. It's not mine. Basta. Okay. Esto no es mi plato. It's not my dish. And then the other person, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. And they change. I work remotely. How can you say?
Well, trabajo desde casa.
Perfecto. And
remoto, it seems to be the same word.
See, but here you can say using these verbs because we are practicing only with these verbs. You can say yo tengo trabajo en casa o yo tengo mi trabajo en casa, ¿vale? And then in this way always you have I don't know work, okay, maybe you know trabajo, that's it. Okay.
O poder, you could use puedo trabajar en algún lugar or
Perfecto. See, of course, if you know more words, totally. But I'm saying when you are stuck, come back to these basics and you will find a way. Okay, if you know more a way, for sure, yo trabajo a remoto, trabajo desde casa, es perfecto. But I'm saying when you don't know the sentences, you come back to here and then you will find a way. How can I open a bank account here? The same thing I'm saying. This is too open question. Will be lost. Okay. You can say, I want a bank account, right? Yo quiero una cuenta de banco. And then yo quiero una banca, yo tengo pasaporte, tengo visado, tengo dirección de casa. ¿Es okay? ¿Está bien? And the other person said, no, you need this, you need that. Okay, but ask how will be a problem because they will ask you many things and especially they talk very complicated, very fancy, and we don't have that level. Okay. The same thing, like, could you explain me the process to enroll in the school? No, I said, I want. Yo quiero estudiar español. Quiero estudiar las tardes. I want to know in the evenings. I don't care about, no, in the evening. Do you have a space for evening? Sí, perfecto. But if you say, when is the time? When is the... No, you be in control. You know what you want. The other person doesn't know. You know. In this way, it's easier to talk because you reduce your stress and you are talking. And then later you are making more verbs, more words in your back. But the beginning, you need to start with the basic. In this way, your brain change and they're used to find a way to talk. I did always in English, and people say, why you go always around and you don't say the word? Because I don't know the word. So, but they understand me. So this is I wanted to share, like it's easy with the strategy and with these techniques, talk in another way.
Yeah, it's great.
I don't know what do you think? Like, do you think will be possible? Are you thinking? Because makes time, no? You are used to translate your sentences, makes time to change your brain, no? But little by little, my students, they are doing, and they are explaining.
Do you think when people do form deliberately straightforward sentences like this, that it encourages people to respond in the same way as well? Because if I go to Google Translate or ChatGPT and translate a perfect detailed inquiry about the school registration process, then somebody thinks I understand more and they will come back with so many words. And whereas if I really bring it down to I'm demonstrating, okay, my vocabulary is limited here. Does it encourage them to respond in the same way and keep it simple?
They will go in your level. You put them to me. Hey, you talk in my way. No, you're talking your way. You need to talk in my way, okay? Because if not, I can start talking in English. But no. So I'm talking to you in my way. It's the only way I know. And then they will reduce. For example, sometimes my students say, could you repeat? Could you repeat? Could you repeat? Is not a useful sentences. Because usually the other person will repeat the same sentence and probably they're using an expression that
you still won't understand it. Yeah.
But it's more useful to say, what do you mean? And then you say, what do you mean? He will change the way and he will say in another way. You have second chance to understand the sentence.
Yeah, or to say, I don't understand, and say the one word that's stopping you understanding the whole sentence, and then they can maybe find an alternative for that one expression that's getting in the way. But yeah, making them rethink it, how they're going to communicate. Hopefully you'll find something you have in common.
Because usually speakers slow, they don't care, they don't understand. Hey, I'm speaking how I want. No, they will be mad and it's not useful. But rather than you break down things and then explain in this way, they will follow you. For example, you go to a shop. I want 1 kilo of naranjas, un kilo de naranjas, quiero un kilo de naranjas, and that's it. Punto. Estás. and you know what you want. It's just like you need to be very specific when you ask questions, and then you need to do your research to understand more or less. But it's very important to be in control. It's the only way to reduce the stress to talk.
I like that. So think like you're going to the greengrocer to buy fruit. Whenever you have to deal with a situation, think, what if I was buying fruit now? I will just speak about the next thing that I need. But what about okay, sometimes we're not buying fruit. We have to go to the Social Security or we have to go to the Tributaria or something. You've got a letter, you don't understand it. You don't know what the simple question is. How do we get to these simple questions from a complicated situation? What would your advice be there?
Yeah, I mean, well, the letter, if you receive a letter, you need to translate whatever but so maybe usually there is a multa, usually, or something you need to pay, something. So I need to pay, maybe you can guess. Tengo que pagar, I need to pay this, tengo que pagar, yes. Or then you need to think more or less what here they ask me. Okay, what is wrong? The address is wrong. There is any information is wrong here for me. I need to change. So you need to more or less guess where you are going, because of course I remember in Italy I was asking a process thing and I asked in a wrong way, and they said no you cannot, and I know that I can, but I say in wrong way, and I said no I can. No, you can. Yes, I can. And then I was super and I said, I want to talk with your superior in Italian. My Italian is not good, and I said, I want to talk. I said, oh, mamma mia! So this man came. I want this. Said, no, you cannot. Your visa, your residence doesn't allow. Yes, I want this. Last week I did. You mean that? Okay, it's the same. So it's just one word that I'm mistaken, but I was very convinced that I can do it. And then they tried to help me, and they said, no, you are, but if you say you can, okay, bye. No, you need to know very well where is your things, your rights, everything. This is why you need to learn before, not going, okay, let's see these people. No, because the same thing, you want to rent a house, the contract is very complicated, that you need to know in the contract what is going on. You need to know the deposit, how months are. You need to know all these things. You need to know has to be in the contract, and then
before you sign it, you have to understand it.
This is why you need someone, of course, like a culture, this is the culture, how you need to know the things in the country. It's very important to get informed before you arrive or you are arriving, because if you go asking the local, you are then you will be overcharged, and then you don't. I remember, because I didn't know well the language when I came in Italy, I thought because it's the same language, then I have to pay 1 year in advance my house, because my job is I'm working by myself, and I have to pay 1 year in advance. So because I didn't know the language, I couldn't negotiate with them. So it's very important to know a few sentences. And I said, no puedo, I can't. No, very strong and powerful sentences to let them that, hey, maybe I don't understand the process, but I know my process. No, so it's very important to understand more or less how it works.
Yeah, so that bit of practice and preparation beforehand, where you
totally.
research some vocabulary, some ideas.
Prepare the we call the situation. I prepare with my students. Many they need to go to the embassy. They need to go there. How are you? Okay, what you want to ask? What you want to say? We prepare all these situations, because you need to be, and also you have improvising things. Of course, never is like that, but at least 80% you are in control. But if you arrive without any preparation, you will be lost, and they will thinking that, okay, this guy is stupid. I said, no. Excuse me. I know I don't know the language, but I'm adult. I know very well things. Yeah, and be very determined in your things. No. So what is the price? For example, the house. What is the price? What is the price for a Spanish? Is the same price? because usually you are a foreigner, they give you more. So you need to be mean sometimes, no? Because they say, this person knows.
Yeah, having the confidence to go into that subject. Are you charging me the same?
Because if not, they take advantage of you and they overcharge you and everything. See, it's very important. And sometimes I want to help my students with immobiliarias, and I ask first, oh, where come from? I don't care where come from. What do you mean where come from? It's a client. How can you help him? And they want to charge, okay, if you come from this country, you make more money, I want to charge you more. So these kind of things, unfortunately, are there. So you need to be very prepared for that. Also, I said, what is the price? The local price, please, not the foreigner price. A price, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I hope if everybody can take away something from today's session, it's that confidence to just, they can tell you there is no local price, there's no difference, but if you don't ask, you're never going to know.
But maybe they say, no, for sure, we don't do that. Okay, but you just say, you just say, hey, you are telling, don't scam me. No, things like that. Few sentences, be nice, of course, be elegant. I remember another student that she wanted to buy a house and was a woman and young. You buy a house? How you don't have money? And she had the money, no? And they said no. So you need to be respect and being, because in Spain we are very classics, and they don't understand also working remotely. They don't know how is the process. They don't know that you can make a lot of money. So you need to show that even I don't know the language, but I have personality. I know I was traveling around. I was living in different countries, so I'm here. I know where I'm. So you need to show that, because I don't know anything. No, you are in this. You are brave because you move to your country, to another country. You are brave than them. They are in the same place. You move, so you are brave than them. So
remember that, everybody. You've already done a courageous thing by shifting to another country. We've got some great questions coming through, actually. Do you want to have a look at those now, or?
Yes, for sure. Like I don't see. You can tell me, please.
Yeah, I think this one has just come through. We've got some earlier ones as well, but I thought this, while we were talking about respectful pushback and communication, I get confused about this one as well, because I'm never quite sure when I go into a new conversation where I should be using tu or usted and the different forms. When is it? I think, if I ask my teenage daughters, who have often helped me with translation, they'd say, nobody says usted now, you don't have to. But actually, I don't want to be disrespectful if I'm dealing with officialdom or a specialist or a professional. And I'm clearly not alone in this confusion. So when should we be formal?
We have the usted. Usted is the formal way. And usually when you go to administration, you need to use usted all the time. This will be the respect thing. And el verbo unconditional. Podría por favor, podría ayudarme, podría explicarme, podría decirme. This one is the formula to be respect. So a conditional and usted is the way. So in all these kind of things, I will use it. I will use it because it's the respect. But people now, they want to use to a lot. It's more casual right now, the language, they use a lot. But and also we have the imperative in Spanish that is, give me this, give me that. I don't consider you do it because you can control the language and maybe you can offend. So maybe it's puede darme un café, puede darme la cuenta, puede. Like this, you are respect, everyone respect you. Even if people said, dame la cuenta, ponme un café. This is locals. You are not local. You need to be, in this way, you always will be respect and we professional and no one can be offense.
That's good advice. So if in doubt, then go more formal.
Yes.
If you have any doubt which one you should be using, then
use that
better to be
for sure.
use usted, use puede, podría.
Podría decirme a qué hora is that, podría, and also double check everything if you need, okay, a las 8 at 8 and you in the calculator 8, right? So use it, because sometimes you hear something and it's another thing. Double check everything, you repeat. Also write down, could you write for me the address? Because people say, it's in the address, blah, blah, blah. You don't know the address, so could you write for me? Could you please, puede escribir, and then you give your phone. People will help you, because people are nice, but
Yeah.
you need to educate them that I'm
Yes.
not in control.
Yeah, we have another question actually from the same viewer. Hi, Anita. Thank you for chipping in and joining. And anybody else, if you've got questions, please put them in the chat now. But yeah, and I exactly relate to this. There are so many words that are similar, especially when someone uses them back to you.
Yeah,
Could completely change the meaning of a conversation. So how do you avoid making a mistake?
In this case, I recommend like connect with things, do connections, llevar. Okay, sounds always the V. Always I said the V is like a basket. Llevar is carry something in the basket. Y llegar is to arrive. Okay, so sometimes you need to play with the words to memorize. Okay, how can I memorize this sentence? Okay, because it's true, they are very similar and they are confusing. So you need to be with your experience, with your. I have, for example, the engineers coding. They love to do this. More my students, engineers, they are doing very well, like connect things because they are coding things. No? So you need to connect the words with something is related in your language. Sounds like this. Okay, because if not, it's very hard to confuse. I know. Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. And then you're using a different bit of your brain instead of your language brain. You're using your visual brain or your physical or kinetic brain.
I recommend llave. Okay, I put the name of llave in my keys. So always I take my keys. Okay, llave, llave, llave. At the end, you remember the word. So you spot this in all your house around this, and then you memorize the sentences. Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. No, that's really helpful feedback. Thank you. If anybody else has got questions, please drop them in, because we're coming towards the top of the hour now. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. And if we have questions that we don't have time for in the group, then I'm sure Carolina will look back in the chat later and try to help you out. She's not your personal translator, but she has got some amazing tips to share with you. So we should carry on.
Yeah. The thing is, try to be creative when you're thinking ideas, and try to reduce your vocabulary. It's true the other person will talk a lot, but you need to understand the whole idea, the whole sentences, rather than go, what is that word? What is that word? No. Okay, let him talk, and then more or less you understand. Okay, I think he's talking about this. And then you summarize. You say, okay, mañana a las 5. Yes, gracias. And then you repeat, okay, I think I understand that. Because the most important thing, you need to understand the sentence. Yeah. And sometimes when you say as a word that you got lost, the other person will help you. Because we have a lot of expressions. For example, me costó un ojo de la cara, cost an eye in my face. What that means? So if they said, ¿qué? Puedes repetir, me costó un ojo de la cara. Un ojo, cara, I know that words, but I don't know the sentence. Means was very expensive. So we have millions of sentences like that. So, but you say, ¿qué quieres decir? Que me costó mucho dinero. Gracias. Okay, the other person will help you. But if you say, puedes repetir, or I don't understand, the other the communication will be awkward.
These idioms don't translate very well, do they?
No.
If we said in English, it's going to cost an arm and a leg, that would probably sound crazy in Spanish.
Thing. When people say, I'm under the weather. The weather? But what do you mean with the weather? I never understood that. And they said he's sick. Okay. But we don't know. So you need to yeah, of course, that's it. And they said, what do you mean? I'm sick. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. That's because the
So
weather makes you sick in England. Then we moved to Spain and the sun is shining. It doesn't make any sense to blame the weather.
exactly. This is why different cultures are different ways, is it? Mhm. Nice. We don't have any more questions. So
No, not yet. So, but keep them coming, folks.
yes, 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 yes. Well, I wanna share that I'm here. Yeah, I wanna tell you, like, if someone want to get in deeper, no, to talk about this and learn more and do it the practicing with me. So I prepare a special offer if they doing. So if they contact me and they say they wanna do a class with me, so they can do what I hear is my phone, my email. They can email me, and this is my website. And then there is this offer that is 60 euros for classes. It's a special price for a group class. We want to do in 4 classes only before Christmas. The most basic things you need to understand with practicing, like we're doing right now, every Friday at 6 p.m. in Spain time. And we want to do it. So if someone want to join, put in the name of the company, the main company, so you can receive this offer if you want.
Brilliant. I put the link on the bottom of the screen for you now. So remember to tell Carolina that you came from Remote Work Europe, or you can probably drop my name or somebody, just say, hey, I saw you on that day, and make sure
Exactly
that she
like
knows
this.
where
I
you came
know that
from.
you can receive this offer. So the classes will start this Friday at 6. So if someone wanna join, we wanna do this specific training in 4 classes to speak clearly. So I hope
Yeah.
someone can join me.
I think using this method, people could make great progress just in a short time. And if it can help shift your mindset, I know I've been studying Spanish on and off for many years, but today has still opened my eyes to some new ways of thinking about communication
Yeah, totally.
strategies.
My students in 6 months start below zero, nothing zero. They are having a nice conversations and they can talk with people. The people that are coming, honestly, they are coming with knowing already. They have more time because they need to refresh and change the way. But the ones that are coming zero, they don't know anything because they start in this way. They are going fast. In 6 months, they are talking. There's very powerful because it's very simple. It's like you have a puzzle. You need to play with these pieces. You don't need to play with anything else. So in this way, it's faster. But if you have million sentences, million ways to talk, then your brain is confusing, and then you need to think in few seconds every time when you talk. So you don't have many times. So you cannot say complicated sentences for sure.
Yeah, no, that's good advice. And for those of us who've been here a bit longer and been struggling with this stuff for a while, maybe we just need to go back to being 4 years old a little bit. Think about how to simplify our communications, what we want to express. We've probably got the vocabulary somewhere in our minds, in our brains, or at least in our apps, and we can figure it out. We can do the homework, do the preparation, think about how to break down the bits that we need to find out and apply the
Exactly. And
tips
believe
that we've
me,
learned today.
And believe me, for example, here in Italy, I'm talking about politicians. I don't have a very good level in Italian, but I let them explain. So, how is the situation here with this president? And they talk. So you just say the question, and then they give you everything.
Yeah,
So it's
that
very
can be one of
important.
your open questions if you want to get onto politics. You'll learn a lot of new words, not all words that you can use in a public web stream, but yeah. But definitely, I know that for me, when I do make the effort, when I step outside my comfort zone and I do risk making myself look ridiculous, those are when you have the more interesting conversations and connections. So we'll leave everybody with that for now, because we've spoken for 1 hour. Thank you, everybody who's joined us today from Remote Work Europe, from Just Lattes, from Remote Work Spain. And do keep in touch. Make sure you get in touch with Carolina if you want to take this way of studying forward. If you think this will be useful to you in your own languages, then do get in touch. I'll make sure the link is in all the comment threads as well. So for now, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Thanks, Carolina, and thanks everybody.
I hope I helped a little bit to people. Okay.
Definitely. Bye, everyone.
Okay. Ciao, ciao. Bye.